If you've been using AI to summarize books, articles, or reports, you are falling into a highly sophisticated cognitive trap. It feels like you are learning faster. It feels like you are absorbing hours of knowledge in seconds. But cognitive science shows it's doing the exact opposite. You aren't building knowledge, you are outsourcing your capacity to think. And in the age of AI, that is the most dangerous trade you can make. In the next 10 minutes, we are going to expose the three learning myths that are keeping your brain locked in a passive state. Will show you the exact mechanism of the illusion of fluency and the three specific note traps that keep you feeling smart while remaining completely stagnant. But more importantly, we are going to look at the actor framework. It's a system designed to turn AI from a lazy shortcut into a brutal intellectual sparring partner. By the end of this video, you won't just read books differently. You'll understand why, in a world where everyone has access to summaries, information itself has become worthless, and where the real human edge actually lies. To understand why we are learning wrong, we have to dismantle the ceiling we've built for ourselves. And it starts with the first great lie of education, the learning styles myth. For decades, we've been told that we are either visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learners. You've probably said it yourself. I'm a visual person, I need diagrams. But cognitive psychologists have tested this repeatedly. The scientific backing almost non existent. When you label yourself a visual learner, you don't optimize your learning. You just build a self inflicted limitation. You give yourself permission to ignore information if it isn't packaged in your preferred format. But that's just the starting point. The real danger is what psychologists call the illusion of fluency. Have you ever read a book, found the author's explanations incredibly clear, and closed it feeling like you've mastered the subject? That is the illusion. You confuse the author's clarity with your own understanding. When you are reading, the author is doing the heavy lifting of structuring the ideas. But if I took that book away and asked you to explain those concepts step by step to a complete beginner, your confidence would collapse because you don't own the idea, you just recognize it. This illusion creates three traps that passive readers fall into every single day. First, the highlighter trap. You run a yellow marker over key sentences, mistaking the physical act of marking text for the cognitive act of memory. Second, the summary trap. You write beautiful, structured notes, put them in a digital folder, and never look at them again. And third, the completion trap. You rush to finish the book, ticking a box on your reading list without forming a single meaningful change inside your own head. And now, AI has supercharged these traps with the AI summary myth. You think, why should I spend 10 hours reading this book when ChatGPT can summarize the main points in 10 seconds? Here's why. Because your brain doesn't learn from conclusions, it learns from the struggle to reach those conclusions. When you read a summary, you skip the arguments, the counter arguments, the nuance, and the storytelling. You get the leaves of the tree without the trunk. It provides an illusion of knowledge without any of the mental effort required to make that knowledge stick. If you are watching this, you probably care about self education, you want to learn faster, think sharper, and build real expertise. But if you keep letting AI do the thinking for you, you are slowly outsourcing your own intellect. But what if we flipped the script? What if instead of using AI to bypass the cognitive load, we used it to maximize the cognitive load? To do that, we have to look at the actor framework, a strategy that turns AI from a lazy shortcut into a relentless intellectual sparring partner. Let's look at how elite learners actually operate. The actor framework, introduced by strategist Swadia, changes the game. It treats AI not as an answering machine but as a sidekick. It has five phases. Let's break down how to execute each one. Phase 1 is aim. Read like a spy, not a tourist. Passive readers wander through books aimlessly, hoping something useful sticks. Elite readers approach a text with an active obsession. Before you open page 1, write down a single sentence mission statement. I am reading this book because I need to solve the XYZ. Here is where you use AI. Don't ask it to summarize the book. Instead, tell the AI your current real world challenge and ask what are the three most targeted high stakes questions I should ask of this book to solve my problem. You carry those three questions into the reading like a spy on a mission. Phase 2 is compress. Find the trunk, not just the leaves. Elon Musk often talks about viewing knowledge as a semantic tree. You must understand the fundamental principles, the trunk and the big branches, before you get into the leaves, or there is nothing for them to hang on to. Passive readers collect leaves, isolated quotes, screenshots, or clever paragraphs. Active readers seek the trunk, the load bearing central argument that supports the entire book. Once you finish a chapter, write your own one paragraph compression of the core idea. Then hand it to the AI. Ask, here is my interpretation of the trunk of this argument. Check my logic. What did I miss? What did I misunderstand? Or what did I overstate? The AI acts as your interpreter, pushing you to refine your mental model. The phase 3 is test. Read to reject, not just agree. We have a natural bias to search for information that confirms what we already believe. It's comfortable, but active learning requires friction. You should read like a spy in an enemy camp, always looking for points of disagreement to sharpen your critical thinking. When an argument in a book bothers, you don't ignore it, lean into it. Ask, what belief am I actively protecting here? Where might this author actually be right? Then drag the AI into the A arena. Present your interpretation and prompt it. Challenge my assumptions. Provide the absolute best counter argument to this point and describe a specific real world scenario where this advice completely fails. This is how you test the strength of the ideas. Phase 4 is O and rereading versus reliving. Rereading a book gives you a false sense of familiarity. It tricks you into thinking you mastered it. True ownership of an idea requires active recall and contextualization. If you cannot explain an idea simply, you do not understand it yet. To own a concept, look away from the page and rehash it in your own words. Tie it directly to a personal mistake, a past meeting, or a specific scenario in your life. To use AI here, treat it as your coach. Say, I want to teach you this concept. Listen to my explanation and tell me if I am capturing the nuances correctly, or if I am missing a critical link, then help me construct a powerful analogy to explain this to a 10-year-old. Phase 5 is run. Turn words into software updates. A book is essentially a software update for your brain, but the installation isn't complete until you build something real with it. Thinking is incomplete without action. A great book shouldn't just sit on your shelf. It should actively interrupt your habits and change your day to day behavior. Here is the AI prompt for the run phase. Copy the core concept and tell the AI, turn this concept into one definitive rule of thumb, one actionable checklist, or one experiment I can run in my life this week. Suddenly, words on a page become lines of code running in your daily routine. Think about the world we live in right now. Anyone with an internet connection can get a 10-second summary of any book ever written. Access to information is no longer a competitive advantage. It has been commoditized. It is free. So, what is the real edge? It's not what you can summarize, it's your unique human judgment, your taste, your ability to connect disparate ideas, your personal point of view. When you read deeply, when you wrestle with a text, challenge its premises, build analogies, and run experiments, you aren't just memorizing facts. You are training the neural machinery of your brain. Reading deeply trains your mind to read people, to read silence, to read situations. It develops the human judgment that no LLM can ever replicate. So if you let AI do the thinking for you, you aren't saving time, you are giving away your edge. But if you use the actor framework, you turn AI into the ultimate intellectual amplifier.